webinar. So we'll be less than 30 minutes, 26, 27 minutes. And the whole goal is to make sure you understand how to use the service profitably. So first, let's talk about who are these leads. So these leads, it's just a person. We don't know anything about them. They may be rich, they may be poor, maybe they're smart, they're dumb, they're intelligent, ignorant. We don't know. They may be ready to buy, or they may just be looking. So we don't know where they are in their stage of, ready to purchase something. They may be very motivated, or they may be very lightly motivated. We know they're somewhat motivated. I'll show you why. Here's what we do know about the lead. We know that it's a person who was on the internet and came across one of our ads, and we have 11 different types of ads for different products and services, annuities, investors, all kinds of different products and services. So we know that the prospect came across one of these ads, and they saw they were being offered a booklet, free guide, and in order to get the booklet, they had to fill in this form. Now, one other thing we know from research, not our research, from independent research, is people hate to fill out these forms. So one thing we know is that somebody who fills out this form, who's on the internet, given that they're reluctant, has some level of motivation to find out, hey, what's in that booklet? They at least have some curiosity. We don't know what level of curiosity or what level of motivation, but they're certainly better than somebody at random. So that's what we do know about this person. Now, some of you who are young may not even know what this is a picture of. This is a phone book. So it used to be when you needed somebody's phone number, you looked it up in one of these big books that every household had. Now, you open a phone book like this. Oh, and what used to happen, in the old days, stockbrokers and insurance agents used to open a page in the phone book and just start cold calling. A lot of them started their career just like that. And so maybe there's 1,000 numbers there. So what you had to do, if you were a stockbroker or an insurance agent, is start calling every one of those 1,000 people in order to find the 5 people. I've highlighted in green. These are the 5 people you found out that were interested. So you had to waste 995 out of 1,000 minutes of your time to find the 5 people who were interested. That's what our lead service does. It simply finds the people who have some interest so that you don't have to call the other 995 people. That's all it's doing, is finding those people, those 5 out of 1,000 that have raised their hand that said, yeah, I've got some interest. I'd like to know more. Now, it's useful, given that you have the right expectations about, once you get this lead, thinking about the consumer correctly. First, you should know that consumers do not go on the internet looking for your products and services. There are not a lot of searches for financial products and services, because most people don't even know what some of those products and services are. See, if I lined up 1,000 people and said to them, what's an annuity? 995 out of 1,000 couldn't tell me. So people can't go looking for something they don't even know what it is. So when people are on the internet, they tend to either look for or react to things that are familiar to them, more general things like, how do I prepare for retirement, and how can I retire early, and how can I have enough money that if I die, my kids will be able to go to college. They have general concerns, not concerns of looking for your product and your services. So your products and services are not their priority in life, I will promise you. Given that even though a person may respond to an ad and say, yeah, I'd like to find out more about that, that will still not be a priority in their life. People's financial situations are almost never a priority in their life. That's the way Americans are. Therefore, when you get a lead of a prospect who has raised their hand and said, I'm interested, in order to take that interest and convert it into an appointment takes sales skills. we don't assume anybody has them that uses our service. So we have scripts for you to follow that have proven to be very effective. But you can't assume that when you call a lead, they're ready to make an appointment. It takes sales skills to move a person along from the stage of just a lead to setting up a time, either in a Zoom session or face-to-face, whatever, but setting it up in a time to talk with you like more personally and start revealing their financial circumstances. So we've prepared a guide called How to Follow Up on Your Prospects that gives you those scripts and the exact step-by-step of how to follow up on each one of your leads so that you have the best possible chance of turning that lead into an appointment. Now, let's also look at your expectations for the economics of what will happen. First, know that any prospecting method, doesn't matter what it is, cold calling, seminars, using telemarketers, doesn't matter what it is, it will always produce fewer good prospects than poor prospects. You'll always get fewer good ones than poor ones. For the same reason, in your town, there are fewer great restaurants than there are mediocre and poor restaurants. There are fewer great movies or good movies than there are mediocre and poor movies. So the universe is simply organized that way. There's always going to be fewer of the ones you want and more of the ones you don't want. So do not have some expectation that of the leads you get, most of them are going to be people who say, "Ooh, yeah, I can't wait to have an appointment." Not going to happen. No matter what you do to prospect, never happen. A minority of the leads, a minority of the people that come from no matter what prospecting you do, a minority of them will be good. The majority will be average to poor. Now, the good news is you happen to be in an industry where even though that's the case, the economics are so far in your favor, it's incredible. So, for example, you invest with us $290 for 10 leads. You get one new client. Now, I don't know what you earn from a client, but I'm picking a number, $3,000. Maybe yours is more or less, but we find that to be a pretty good average from the thousands of advisors we talked to over the years. Well, that's 10 to 1 return. That's pretty darn good return on your money. In fact, I have a question for you, which is how many investments do you provide to your clients that return 10 to 1? Now, I already know the answer. It's none. So the average person has no opportunity to get investments with a 10 to 1 return, but you do, and we'll help you get there. Now, what if you even do half as well? What if you only get one client for every 20 leads? So you won't make a 10 times return on your money. You'll make a 5 times return on your money. If you called up Microsoft, the CFO, and said, "Hey, listen, I got a system that'll give you 5 times return on your investments," he would say, "Where do I sign up? We're ready. I'm interested. What do we do?" Microsoft does not make 5 times return on their investments. They would be delighted. They'd be crazy happy to be able to make 5 times return on every investment they make. So you have an opportunity to do much, much better than large, well-known companies who are considered so successful. So let me just share a comment with you from Bill, an advisor, about his situation.
Bill, you've been with us for about 5 years or so now. I'm curious, what have been your sales results since you started using the system? So let's break it down in terms of about how many prospects have you received and what is your appointment ratio, first of all.
Okay. In that 5 years, total equity at around $14 million, and a number of accounts about 40. I get about 5 accounts for every 20 leads. I drip on 2 and I get 1 appointment. I get 1 account per 20 leads.
So there you have it. A guy who's getting one client out of every 20 leads, and he's been with us year after year after year, and he's a happy camper. Why? Because he's making money. He's making plenty of money on his investment. So please measure the lead service that way. Are you getting a good return on your investment? Not like, oh, I'm only getting one new client out of every 20. I'm getting one client out of every 10. How to succeed. Now, we've been doing this since 2003. So we've had an opportunity to observe successful advisors and advisors who fail. So we can share with you, oh, here's what the successful advisors do, and here's what those who fail do, and do this and don't do that. So we've had lots of, people that we could observe over time. And simple question is, would it be wise to listen to our observations about who succeeds and who fails? Most people would say, sure, I'd love to know so I can copy the successful ones. Well, here's what we have found. John C. kind of summed it up better than anybody, and here's what he told us.
Yes, there is. Number one, and first and foremost, go through the training. I mentioned this earlier, but this is my second time around. When I say second time around, I had done this for a month before, and I did not get an appointment. I did not get an appointment and thought, this doesn't work, waste money. And number one, it wasn't waste that much money because the leads are so inexpensive. But what I did is I went back and I actually went through the training because I knew people that were having success doing this. So I knew it worked. I just knew I was doing something wrong. So went back, went through the training, and, it's just night and day. Now I'm getting a good reception. Before, I wasn't, just because I was using my own script. So if you do this, take the time. You're making an investment. Take the time to go through the training, and basically study. There's a 25-page on how to contact your clients. Study that and learn from it, and that's what I basically do. The main thing that I learned from it is to find out why they actually clicked on whatever they clicked on.
So there you have it. It wasn't something we said. This is an advisor just telling you straight up, just follow the instructions. And no kidding, that's the key to success, because he actually, unlike other advisors, he actually tried the system once, didn't follow the instructions, then tried it a second time and did follow the instructions. So he's one guy who can tell you the before and after. He can tell you, here's what made me successful and here's what wasn't successful. Now, I want to encourage you, do not think about this as just a lead service, because if you get a lead and pick up the phone and call that person, you will fail. If you don't do the rest of the steps to cultivate that lead, it's not going to be successful for you. So this is a business building system that has steps to it, meaning you're going to get the lead, you're going to send out the booklet, you're going to call in 48 to 72 hours, you're going to use the script and the guide, how to follow up on your prospects. You're going to watch the training videos and follow those things that you learn in the training. So you're going to use the system in order to turn these leads into business for you, not just, I got a lead, I'm going to call them up. So if you contact the leads and you don't follow the system, you'll fail. Now, we have found, this is our observation over time, that there's two types of people that have failed. And the two types are, one, lazy people. Now, we can't really help you with that. If you find that you have this problem with being lazy, you should either go see a therapist or read some books or do something. The only advice I can pass along to you, I once heard a guy say, listen, the 24 hours is going to go by whether you're lazy or productive, so you might as well be productive. So that's the only thing we can pass on about being, actually following the instructions and doing the work, but we can't be of much other help. The other type we found is arrogant people. Now, arrogant people are people, it's kind of odd about this. Arrogant people are people who think, I know better. In other words, they're the guys who, they've said stuff to us like this over the years. Hey, I've been in this business 30 years. I don't need to follow your script. I know what to say when to call people on the phone. That's arrogant people. They think they got nothing to learn and they know anything already. Well, I just want to share a fact with you. You know, the wealthiest people read more than other people. The wealthiest people read more than other people. So, why is that? Because the wealthiest people think that there's more that they can learn, so they keep reading. Arrogant people think they know it all, and it's very hard for them to get wealthy. So one of the routes to wealth is being open-minded and saying, I always have something to learn. And I'll just make you a promise. I promise that when you read our guide, How to Follow Up on the Prospects, you look at the scripts, you look at the approach, you watch the training videos, I promise you, you will learn something new of value, not only for using SeniorLeads, but things that you can take into the rest of your business. Now, this thing about following instructions, just a quick heads up because it's difficult. Americans are not very good at following instructions. We're actually pretty bad at it. So, I want to warn you that this is a problem. So let me give you an example. See, following instructions, if you say, how do I make water? I say, well, it's H2O. But more than half of the people, if you tell them this, they'll go home and they'll start mixing hydrogen and oxygen together, and they'll want to know, well, I mixed hydrogen and oxygen. Why didn't this formula work? Well, to follow the instructions exactly, it's 2 parts of hydrogen, 1 of oxygen, not 1 hydrogen, 3 oxygen, not 3 hydrogen. So when you read like this script, just use it word for word when you call up a prospect. Don't change it. It's easier to follow the instructions than to change them. Now, we know success comes from following the instructions. Let me tell you where all the instructions are. The first place is you signed an agreement before you started your account. Some of those instructions were in that agreement. Let me just show you real quickly some of those. Hold on a minute. Keep recording. Let me show you. Give me a second here. So here's the agreement that you signed. And some of the things that are really important that I don't know why, but people kind of like forget them or gloss over them or something, but there's a guarantee. So part of the instruction is that we're going to replace any lead that fails the guarantee. And that means that any lead that does not have a valid name, working phone number, or deliverable address, meaning you send out the booklet and comes back to you, we're going to replace. And in order to get that replacement, we have a short formative video on this. You must use the online credit system to make your replacement requests. So you just use that software little module in your account when you log in, and you tell us, here's leads that I need replaced, and we're going to do that. So any leads that fail, we're going to replace them. Okay. Next thing, important, but people look over, it's an important instruction. The system is continuous, which means it's not designed to stop and start. It's designed to get you new clients, like week after week after week, because most financial advisors and life insurance agents want continuous new clients. And so what happens is this. You signed up, you paid a certain amount, you prepaid for 10 leads, and we're going to deliver those 10 leads. Depending on your area, that could take a week, it could take 3 weeks. We don't know how fast they'll come in because we place the ads. We can't control whether a lot of consumers will respond or few consumers. So we're going to deliver those 10 leads. And then after those 10 leads are delivered, what happens? Well, let me see where it is here. We will replenish your account each time it reaches 0. So once we deliver those 10 leads, we're going to charge your card again, and then we'll go about advertising again and get you another 10 leads. And then when we delivered those, so you always have a continuous flow of new prospects to turn into new clients. Okay, so it's continuous. Now, do you have control over stopping that? Yeah, absolutely. You can cancel when? The first or third Thursday of the month. Why do you have to wait till first or third Thursday? Real simple. When we buy your ads, we have to pay for them in advance, and we have to prepay for 2 weeks. So once we pay on the first Thursday, we paid basically for your ads for 2 weeks until the third Thursday. So each time at the end of that interval, the first or third Thursday, once we've paid and exhausted the ads we've bought for you, you can cancel because we haven't prepaid anything for you. So that's why we have to have it at certain intervals that you can cancel. So you can do that first, third Thursday. You also have the ability to pause your account after 30 days. In addition to that, you have 6 ways to control your lead flow, how fast or slow you get your leads. Where do you find that? When you log into your back office, you'll find a link on the left that says how to control your lead flow. Okay, so you have lots of controls, but please do the following if you would. Go and read this agreement again. You can find it at SeniorLeads.com agreement. Go and read that again if you will at the end of the webinar and just see if you missed anything or forgot something because it's important stuff. Okay. Let's see, where were we? Sorry about that. Okay, so we have some instructions in the agreement. There's training videos. The training videos are at SeniorLeads.com/training. And they're short video. One of them is a little longer. Most of them are like 6 minutes, 4 minutes, 6 minutes, something like that. One is longer and the rest are really short. So you want to watch the training videos. Please do that within the first week of your account so that you're able to digest all that and apply it to your leads and turn more of those people into appointments. We'll send you occasional emails, which are kind of like these tips that are already in the instructions, the training videos, but they're things like, hey, remember this. So they're just quick little tips, like 3 sentences, but please read these when they come in. And then, of course, I mentioned already, we have scripts for you and step-by-step what to do in our guide, how to follow up with your prospects. And you can download this guide from your back office. So that's where you find it. Let me see if I can't get back to... hold on a second. Sorry about this. This doesn't work as smoothly as I'd like to do what I want to do. Now, how to get help. So you may need some assistance as you go along. Let me explain how to get it and how to not get it. What you want to do to get help is you want to submit a support ticket at this webpage. Go to SeniorLeads.com/help. And when you go there, you'll be able to just open a support ticket and say, hey, here's my name and my name's on the account and I need help with this issue. And on average, during the week, during business hours, you'll get a response in 3 hours. On Saturday and Sunday, it's a little longer. It's about 4 hours. So you get a pretty fast response to these support tickets. The support is provided by email, not phone. Well, why don't we provide it by phone? Very simply. In 2012, we went to all the advisors using the system at that time, and we said we have 2 choices. We either have to raise the price of the leads, or we have to cut out the phone support. And we let them vote. And we said, we'll do whatever you want. And not one person opted for the phone support. They all said, yeah, just cut out the phone support, leave the lead price the same. And that's what they did. So not having phone support saves you money because we were able to reduce our staff to sit there and answer the phone. Your sales consultant cannot help you. So the person who registered you on the phone cannot help you with your account. Please don't email them, don't call them. They're of no assistance. They have no training in how to help you, and they can't help you. We have a specialized staff at this page, SeniorLeads.com help, who can help you. And there's 3 advantages of using this system. Number 1, you're not going to be talking to anybody in the Philippines that doesn't even understand what you're asking them. Number 2, you're not going to be sitting on hold for a half hour. And number 3, you're going to get a response, in 3 to 4 hours, which you're not going to find from any other company in the country. I guarantee you, your bank does not respond to you in 3 or 4 hours. Your utility company doesn't. Your credit card company doesn't. So if you just use the support ticket system, you'll get help quickly, and you'll get it from a trained staff. Thank you so much for spending this time with us. We look forward to helping you be really successful and helping you get a very good new business from using the system. Thank you.